Welcome to Trading the Close. My name is Gareth, Chief Market Strategist here at VerifiedInvesting.com. So we had our second rally day in a row. We're going to take a look at the key movers and shakers and the key charts and discuss these things. So let's take a walk over to the big board, take a look at what we have going on here. You can see Dow Jones Industrial Average up 525 points. That's a fantastic day there. NASDAQ up 136, a little bit percentage-wise less. And that's, again, there was a few large cap, mega cap players that are underperforming today. You can see NVIDIA right over here on the heat map down 1.26%. So again, that's dragging down the NASDAQ just a little bit. And then the S&P 500 right up about 1.2% or 68 points on the day. Oil today, fractional gains. We have gold up fractionally as well. And then Bitcoin up about 2.5% on the day. But overall, let's be fair, right? We have a market that was oversold. We hit key support on the S&P. In fact, we can go to that chart now and take a look. You can see this parallel. I showed this morning in the game plan, but again, low pivot and high pivot, and then this high pivot here, if you take that line, drop a parallel down, you get that exact low. Now again, if we look at where this market could bounce, because this is what I do as a trader, I say, okay, well, we were due for a bounce, we're getting the bounce. Now, how high will this bounce go before it starts running into major resistance? What I do is I look at former levels on the chart. And so what I see is there's a major pivot low here and here, right? So these two lows will now act as resistance on the way back up. They're going to be key levels of resistance. If we take this low and we drag it across, that gives us around 575 on the SPY. Interestingly enough, if you do a Fibonacci retrace from the high, the all-time high there, to this recent low right here, this is right around a 382 Fibonacci retrace. All right, now listen, does it say that, okay, that's where it's going to stop in its tracks and reverse? No, but as a technical trader, I need to know where the probability starts to increase that the market runs into a brick wall, and that's what that gives me right there. All right, so again, little update there on the S&P as we come into the day's end. A couple other charts. One of them I went into this morning talking about how NVIDIA was into major resistance. Lo and behold, it opened up and got rejected. And you can see right here how technically this was support, 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 and then broke. This now becomes resistance. So NVIDIA, again, behaving exactly as you would assume it should, even in spite of the NASDAQ and the markets being up. This stock ran into resistance, so it is pulling back today. Then just going over a few of the other mega caps here, you can see, again, you have Amazon just chopping sideways. This starting to look like a bear flag. I still have a downside short-term target around 186 on Amazon. And then Netflix is up today. It got upgraded. So again, I always look at upgrades like this as exit liquidity, right? So a big institution has their boy upgrade the stock, and then it creates a bunch of buy pressure from individual retail investors. And then oftentimes they'll be unloading into that. Again, not to say that's exactly what's happening here. I just do caution people about thinking about that. If we look at the chart here, look at this level right here. Drag a trend line right across. That is key support. Was support broke? So what would resistance be? So in general, when you're looking at this chart, I would go on the assumption that we might be rejected off of this level and come back to the downside. And then we'll obviously have to watch and see, do we get this level taken out? The other thing to keep an eye on, do you guys see the pattern formation that could be forming on this chart of Netflix? And if we take our head and shoulders tool and we draw it in, here's your shoulder, here's your head, and then right now, let's say we go up here and we start to reverse, you might have a head and shoulders pattern, which is a bearish technical pattern starting to form on the Netflix chart. And again, if we zoom out on this, you can see, look at how much of a run Netflix has had. Now again, lots of bulls out there, but that's usually how tops are formed when you get an over allotment of bulls. Today we did see Tesla, another big cap stock here, down on the day. It's down about 5%. Again, overall, major support. This was the support level I've talked about. We did get a bounce off of that, but now the last few days we're seeing it stall out just a little bit. The kicker here is going to be, is this forming a small bullish pattern to make one more move up? Or if we take out this low area, then you start your next big leg to the downside. I'm still in the camp that support is support until proven otherwise. So I'd still be in the bullish camp on Tesla in the near term, but fully watching this low pivot here in case it breaks. If it breaks, well then guess what? Next leg down is in play. Looking at Bitcoin today, Bitcoin inching up just a little bit. We're seeing altcoins inching up today as well. Remember, stock market's up, therefore risk on signals crypto would most likely be up. Gold was up as well, continuing its movement towards this upper trend line of resistance here. And silver actually stalled out just a little bit today, only flat on the day on silver. So silver underperforming gold. We've all become accustomed to that in the recent history at least. Oil today, let's take a look here. Oil again is basically flat to positive. I still think again a small bounce may be in store. It keeps trying to bounce, but you can see how hard it is for it to bounce right here. And then natural gas coming down. This could be the beginning of the next leg lower on nat gas. Topping tail, fall into support. Support consolidation, and then the idea is you're nearing a breakdown for another big move to the downside, potentially down to the low $3.30 range on the chart of natural gas. All right, so listen, today volume was light overall. We did see a nice rally in the markets. The key here is volume likely to remain light today. Obviously, the markets are closing tomorrow and half day on Wednesday. And then Wednesday in the afternoon, the Fed decision occurs. Now, listen, they're not going to raise rates. They're not going to cut rates. It's all about what Jerome Powell says in his statement and press conference that's going to drive the markets. But just be aware, could keep the markets kind of quiet for the next day or so into that announcement. And then obviously we'll go from there. All right, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. As always, here at Verified Investing, we're focused on the charts, the data, and the probabilities. No narratives, no hype. It is what it is. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'll be back for the game plan tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. Take care.